Hi everyone, welcome to Sports Fan Cricket News. And Tubby, this is a massive day for the Australian cricket team and just cricket in general in this country.
Absolutely superb. The guys have been superb really since the Gabba, where they surprised England. They've kept the foot on the throttle and on the throat of England and deserved their win today. England made it tough. Ben Stokes was superb today. I reckon that's one of the best innings I've seen from a guy who's only played 2 test matches in my life that was that good an innings. But it wasn't good enough to keep the rampant Australians at bay. They deserved to win the series.
Do you think Michael Clarke was a little bit nervous if you go back into your captaincy days?
Absolutely. Michael Clarke will probably be still at the ground over our shoulder there with a whopping headache at the moment. And it won't be from too many of the amber ale. It'll be from just the worry, the fidgeting, the concern at lunchtime when they still only had 1 wicket down for the day and had 4 to get. He'd have been nervous till right at the very end. But when he got it, there's a sense of, joy, but a huge sense of relief.
When we think back over the 5 days, just the individual performances that we've seen from Warner 60 and 100, Watson 100, we've got Steve Smith, man of the match. That 100 was when the team needed it, and obviously the bowlers had done their job. I mean, the fact of the matter is these individuals have all stood up and they've been counted when the teams needed it.
Absolutely, it's been a real team performance. And don't forget Brad Haddin, who's had a terrific series, 300-odd runs. He got 8 catches in this test match. I reckon he was that far from being man of the match in this game for his 55 that added to the 111 that Steve Smith made. Once again, that lower order partnership took Australia from a score of maybe 250 to 270 up to 380, gave the bowlers plenty to bowl at, and England never got back into the game really after day 2.
Mate, I can't help but think what this means to Australian cricket, given that every youngster, you go to the Cricket Australian side of things, all the planning for the future. We've needed to see the Australian team do well. We haven't for a number of years. Yeah. And this is, it's a day that will inspire the world of cricket in this country.
I really hope so. I think I'm lucky enough to be a director of Cricket Australia, and at the moment the numbers of kids playing around the country is up. And that probably the only thing that wasn't where we wanted it to be was our men's team. We wanted our men's team, which is our shop window for cricket in this country, to be back to number 1. And Michael Clarke said it a number of times at the press conference today. He wants to take this team back to the top. The first thing he had to do was win the Ashes. And we all hoped and thought he could do it. But I don't think any of us thought it would happen in 3 test matches. They have been superb.
They have. And you and I were both on the boundary rope when they came off, and to interview Mitchell Johnson and see the eyes welling, the emotion that he had and all the guys, it was strong relief. He was exhausted, and he's been the difference in this series, just as Bell was the difference in England.
Absolutely. Mitchell Johnson has finally found the rhythm. I think as Bumble Lloyd said it, he used to be to the left and right and all over the place, but now he's to the left and right, and now he's all right, isn't he? Because he has been the difference, as you say, 20-odd wickets at an average of about, I don't even know what it is, probably about 14 or 15. Every time he's bowled, if he hasn't got wickets, he's put a fear in the England batsmen. So he's helped people like Harris, who's also bowled superbly. Siddle's been steady, and even Nathan Lyon picked up the big wicket today of Ben Stokes. That's the sort of combination you want when you've got a good pitch, and this pitch here at the Wacker has been an absolute beauty. Probably the best Wacker pitch we've seen for probably over a decade. It's been a great test match wicket. Produced really good cricket, and you needed a good all-round bowling performance, and that's what Australia got in this test match.
Yeah, and let's not forget that it's the same 11 that have played in the first, second and third test. If it was last season with the rotation, we wouldn't have seen that. So Darren Lehmann very much having his say on the setup, and I like that ethos that he's sort of got, that you get out there and you enjoy it and be entertainers, and I think we've seen an entertaining Australian team.
Absolutely, and it was interesting to note that when the guys had their celebration in the middle today after they won, Michael Clarke made a point of telling the guys, get out to the crowd. And they all dispersed from the centre, didn't just go off to the change rooms. They all went to various parts of the ground to clap the fans at the ground. I think you're going to see a more humanised Australian team in the future under Michael Clarke, and I think that'll be terrific for the game.
Yeah, and Darren Lehmann very much in the background. He makes himself available for interviews, but very much in that background. It's been a solid performance. It's been everyone contributing. I just want to cast forward to the Boxing Day test match. I'd like to think that the same 11 for the Australians will be there. They may, someone like a Harris who's had a bung knee, maybe they rest him, but I'd like to see the same 11. What do you think England will do?
Oh, England's a tough one. Look, they showed a lot more fight in this game, and they've been beaten by a better Australian side. That's the bottom line. They've unveiled Stokes now, so obviously he's now in the side for the rest of the series. They've got to worry with their senior players. Obviously Cook's been troubled at the moment, so but then also Peterson hasn't found that spot or haven't made enough runs at batting at number 4. Do they bring in a younger batsman in this sort of situation? That's probably not the answer. The other problem they're going to have is Stuart Broad. Is he going to play with his foot? I suspect not. And England haven't bowled Australia out in both innings yet of a test match. So they've got some real concerns. They'll look at their younger batsmen, Balance, Bairstow maybe, and they've got to play one of their tall quicks. They brought 3 tall quicks over here because they were going to rip into the Aussies.
In our conditions.
Well, the Aussies ripped through them so far, so I dare say one of them will play.
I think you're going to see a disciplined outfit from the Australians. 5-0 is what they're looking for. It's been on the receiving end for far too long. So expect Australia to turn up in Melbourne and in Sydney and try and thump the English. Now, just before we go, what sort of Christmas present do you want this year?
I'd like to see Australia win 5-0. That'd be a good Christmas present.
It's normally about you, though. That's a good one. I like that. You're normally selfish.
Well, a guy said to me today, Mark, in the 10-match series, you know Simon Hughes, you know Yoz, don't you?
Yes, I do.
He said in the 10-match series, which is 5 test matches in England, 5 here, it's now 3-all. So the Ashes are still up for grabs, he reckons. So we've got to make sure that we win one or both of the next 2.
Good on you, mate. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to everyone. That's the cricket news. We'll see you on Boxing Day.